Welcome to Keep Bouncing Forward. I'm Angela R. Lewis, and whether it's your first time listening or you've been with me from the beginning, I am honored to have you here. This is a new chapter, a relaunch, a reset, a new rhythm. This podcast didn't come out of nowhere. It grew out from something I started a few years ago called Athletes as Educators. That podcast was my very first show, and it was near and dear to my heart. I got to talk to athletes from around the world, such as Shaniqua Holdsclaw, who was my favorite basketball player growing up, Bradley Beal, who's an NBA All-Star, and Olympic gold medalist Carmelita Jeter. Those conversations were really powerful. It was about how do athletes use their influence to inspire and educate others to literally keep bouncing forward. That laid the foundation. But I've evolved over the years like we all do. My perspectives have deepened, and now it's time for this podcast to evolve too. So, welcome officially to the Keep Bouncing Forward podcast. All of those previous episodes are still available. This podcast is rooted in resilience, and we'll be diving even deeper. This isn't just about how do you bounce forward from an injury, but about doubt. How do you bounce forward from doubt, from transition, from change? How do you keep bouncing forward when you feel like your confidence is shaken? Don't worry, we'll talk about all of that here. For me, bouncing forward is rooted and grounded in three big areas of my life: sports, of course, business, and family. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and I grew up playing basketball in the backyard with my brothers. Our court was dirt. We didn't have NIL deals or any type of media exposure. We just had heart and hustle. Basketball literally changed my life. I didn't go looking for it. It came looking for me, and I'll dive into that in upcoming episodes. But basketball has given me lifelong friends, and going from playing in the Midwest, in the backyard, to hosting basketball clinics in Manizales, Colombia, I really saw the way that basketball connected me to the world. It gave me identity, it gave me structure, it gave me confidence. And today, the game is giving so much more. We are living in probably the best time ever for women's sports. We're seeing more exposure. We're seeing more merchandise. We're seeing more brands aligned with women who play sports, and the games are growing and there's investment. I mean, from the WNBA to college hoops to track and field, soccer, it's a major shift in power, visibility, and value. And honestly, it's about time. With that visibility comes pressure. And that's part of what we'll talk about on this podcast: how to lead, how to last, and how to stay grounded in who you are when the world is watching. The second pillar that I'll talk about on this podcast is business. After sports, I'd entered a new arena on accident again: entrepreneurship. I wanted to write books to help inspire girls and inspire their lives and give them a framework for success in my first book, The Game Changing Assist. And I didn't know I was starting a business. And so I had to learn about business. I had to learn about the publishing business, and I did all of my media outreach. So I learned about media and podcasting. And all of that has really helped me to where I am today. I am in leadership at Speaker Hub, the largest platform for speakers in the world. Now, in business, we know that AI is changing everything. So we'll talk about that on this podcast. How do you stay on top of what's happening? How do you stay connected in a world that is telling you that you're going to be replaced? But your story, your voice, your creativity, your leadership, that's what sets you apart. So whether you're launching a brand, building a movement, or stepping into your next season of influence, this podcast will give you the tools to lead when the world is constantly shifting. I'm so happy that you're here. Now, the third pillar that I'll talk about on this podcast is family. Of course, my immediate family and those who I have the same bloodline. But when I talk about family, I think about family in a much global sense. It's the people who show up for you, the people who are there for you on your toughest days, and who inspire you to dream bigger. I'm grateful for my teachers, my coaches, mentors, and friends who force me to think differently, who encourage me to think differently. Family is the group of people who remind you who you are when life gets loud. And Lord knows life will get loud. So whether you're having dinner with loved ones or mentoring others, or simply hopping on a flight, which I so often do, just to give a friend a hug. The people in your life who you are deeply connected to are so important. And we want to make sure that as life gets crazy, we don't take that for granted. And so on this podcast, I'll be talking about those things that connect us and how sports and business have connected me to the world. And we'll hear from others as well. Now, here's how the show works. Some of these episodes will be solo. It'll just be me sharing some reflections and lessons about ball, about business, about life. There'll be some behind the scene moments from my life. Other episodes will feature special guests. Some will be friends, old friends. Some will be new friends. There'll be leaders across sports, business, and philanthropy. All of those things that are really important to me, but really make life interesting. Here's what we're going to talk about. Some of the topics we'll talk about. How do you rebuild confidence after a loss? We all have losses, and rebuilding confidence is key. How to communicate when it feels hard. What it means to lead from values and not ego. How to navigate transitions with grace. There will be transitions. And how to stay focused and move forward when life feels heavy. Those times will always be something that we have to deal with. This podcast isn't about pretending everything is perfect, because it's not. It's about practicing resilience on purpose. Because no matter what field you're in, no matter what you're doing, your ability to bounce forward will define your impact. So if you're growing and stretching, rebuilding, or simply learning how to lead yourself better, which we all are on that journey, this podcast is for you. I'll be learning the same way that you are. I'll be sharing, and I'm open to insights. If there are topics that you want me to discuss, if there are people who you recommend, definitely reach out. And also, please subscribe, share this podcast with someone you love, and meet me here each week, and maybe a few extra times, because there will be bonus episodes for these empowering conversations to help you stay confident in the face of change. We know confidence isn't built in the easy moments. It's built in the bounce forward. Let's grow through what we go through together. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get started. Be sure also to follow me on Instagram, the Angela R. Lewis. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, Angela R. Lewis, or check out my website, angelarlewis.com, to stay up to date and to connect. I look forward to hearing from you soon.